welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube, and it is time for the site and story status update for September 2021. A lot of S's in that statement. Very proud I got all the way through it. Please excuse the cat. Let's get into it. So first, hi. I think I might have one or two new people to the video and the channel and the site because Jason and Elizabeth did that thing once a year where they shared some scenes, and it literally is just like once a year at this point. And you know, as what happens when Steve and Becky get in a room together, people are like, and we're looking for liaison fanfiction. So I saw a couple of people recommending me, and I appreciated that. So if you are new, hi. These are little videos and posts that I do to A, keep myself accountable, and B, to kind of keep you guys all in the loop. I do them in 3 parts. Let's try that again. 3. First, we talk about general writing, just like what's going on in my IRL, like in real life, just because it affects my ability to write, time and energy, what's happening on the site and the channel, and then we get into individual story stuff. I try to keep the first 2 parts short and sweet. I am going to film a facelift video later because there's a lot happening on the site, and I think it'd be fun for you guys to get a real sense of what's been happening on Crimson Glass this summer, because I actually did do a lot of work. So I'm going to start with the general writing health, and I would like to keep it relatively short and sweet because I do feel like I have talked a lot about my general writing health this year. It's been a long year, and we're only in month 9. I've been an anxious hot mess pretty much all year long. And up until this point in my life, I have been mostly able to manage my own anxiety, but it became a little bit harder this year. So I've been in therapy since May, and I was dealing with kind of, you know, the other stuff that's like causing me anxiety, teaching, my house, my finances, my family. Writing ended up just, even though writing is a very important part of my life, it ended up being at the end of the list. And I waited too long to deal with it because it kind of got out of the hand in July with my anxiety, kind of just, you know, taking me down these like thought spirals. If you're interested in more, I will link a post I wrote in July in the description and also in the post of the site, just giving you a little bit more of a background. And if you're not interested, you can just skip it. So just to kind of sum up where we are, took July off after on the site. I think I updated on July 13th, and then I just kind of like noped out, and I really didn't write anything. I didn't write anything for a couple of weeks. While I was on vacation, I kind of started to feel a little bit better. First week of August, I went down to the Jersey Shore because I live here in New Jersey. But unfortunately, I live 2 hours away from the Jersey Shore, and the rest of you out-of-staters ruin it for everybody because you screw up traffic. So I don't get down there as often as I'd like. I ended up staying a full week. That was really great. And when I came home, I started writing again, and, you know, I feel a lot better. And I feel better here today on August 31st. I'm filming this the day before you guys are going to see it. I feel today better than I have all year, which is a really good sign. For September, I'd like to set a goal of increasing my writing time. Every day I try to write at least 25 minutes a day. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to be increasing that to at least 50 minutes a day. I hope by October to be writing more, just because I have projects that need to be done, and I didn't use as much time in the summer as I would have liked. Let's talk about the site and the channel, and at this point, I'm really hoping that I'm able to do the editing that I want to do, because we have just a couple of things to talk about what's happening on the site. Number 1, I have been working on decluttering the main page. I felt like it was a lot of text. My update notes tend to be, like, I tend to ramble, and, like, some people enjoy that because I am a very verbose kind of person. If you are here on the channel, you know I have a tendency to ramble and go on tangents. And I like to keep you guys updated on all things, and I get into the weeds. So, but, you know, sometimes there are people who are coming here for an update. So I have, you know, cleaned up the update post. So if you want to read all of the extra nonsense, you just click the continue reading and then you can read it, or you can just click the update. I have also been working on merging the alternate history page so that every single alternate history story I've written is all on one page. So it used to be scattered across like 6 or 7 other pages, and now it's on alternate history. It's on the one page. I also redid the in progress page, which will eventually become, I will be renaming it series, because it's for my ongoing series. Fool Me Twice is a trilogy. Mad World is a quartet. For the Broken Girl is a duology. It's not the last time that one of my projects is going to take more than 1 book. I can think of one thing I'm working on in the background off, you know, just like it's going to be longer. So that's, you know, some of the things that's been going on. So alternate history is basically done. I have remerged everything. I have moved all the stories into the alternate history category, and I have added timelines and inspirations. I'll get into like the nitty gritty of all of that in the facelift video, but just like hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to find things. I will be working on the alternate universe overhaul next. It should not take as long. One of the reasons why it took so long for the alternate history is just I took time off from it. That's really great, and I'm really excited by that. In September, like I said, I'm going to work on the alternate universe. I also want to continue organizing my screen cap collection because it's a lot easier for me to make graphics if I know where things are. I have like 16 different folders. I have so many. It's ridiculous. It's insane. I've been collecting screen caps since 2002, and it's just like they're everywhere. And unfortunately for me, the one thing I ever do back up is mostly my General Hospital media. So like I have a ton of it, for better or for worse. On the channel, obviously I haven't been doing very much with it. I had intended to do more. You may or may not be one of the viewers who enjoys it, but there's like 10 of you who actually do watch the vlogs. I've seen the views, and yay, thank you. I would like to bring back the vlogs. I just haven't had anything to write to talk about. I'd also like to get to do more GH content. I'd love to do like a ranking GH characters and doing my top 10. Like I'd like to do more. I don't want those videos to be like things where I just ramble at a camera. I think that's where I went wrong last year when I started trying to do this. I mean, I like the stuff I did, but I think I just want to, I want to do a little bit more. So that's something that's on the back burner, something I'd love to do. But like for right now, for September, we're just going to concentrate on getting maybe the vlogs back going, at least doing 1 or 2 of them a month. That'd be great. So we'll see where we are. This channel's not monetized. You have to have like 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. I have 63 subscribers and have maybe 300 hours of watch time over the last year. So like, this is not something I'm doing for money. I'm not becoming a YouTuber. I just like, it helps me to talk about my writing process. So I like to share that with you guys. Let's get into the nitty gritty individual story information. First, I want to talk about Mad World. Mad World is the book I'm currently working on. I have written, so it's if you're brand new to this whole thing and you're like, I have not read Mad World. Well, let's do a brief recap of what I'm talking about. Book 1 is chapters 1 through 19 and was written in 2018. Does that sound right? Yeah, that sounds right. And then book 2 is chapters 20 through 50. And that was written in 2019, and I published it then. And then book 3 came out last fall, and that is chapters 51 through 76. So we have 75, I'm sorry. So we have 75 chapters already completed, out there, published. I'll link it below in the description notes if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, you can find it on the site if you are watching this embedded in the site. Book 4 was supposed to be out this fall, but I ran into some really serious problems writing it. Not because there's absolutely nothing wrong with the story. It was just me. I started writing it for my July Camp NaNoWriMo, and unfortunately I was not able to finish it, and that was actually really disappointing. It was the first time since starting Camp NaNoWriMo in July I have not completed a July event. So like that was a little sad, but that's okay. Like, life goes on. I did, however, write 5 chapters, and I organized a bunch of older scenes. Last summer when I wrote book 3, I actually wrote the majority of what I imagined for book 4, and I am able to use chunks of it. Like there are scenes that I can reuse, and that is going to make it a little easier, especially when we get to the end of the story, because a lot of the end of the story is kind of is basically the same thing I was going to use before. So that's actually really great. In July, I wrote chapters 76 through 80, so I wrote 5 chapters then, and then I actually finished chapter 81 yesterday. I am going to be working on 82 today. So I am back. Mad World is working. My goal for September is I would like to be closer to about chapter 90. The plan, so Act 1 is chapter 76 through 85, and I am a couple of chapters away from being done Act 1. And Act 2 is chapters 90 through 104. Act 3 would be a lot shorter. I would love to be at the end of September at chapter 90, because that would mean about 20 chapters out from the end. And by that point in a novel, I am usually doing a pretty good job of writing. Like I am in the story, I'm in the zone. Once I get to the halfway point, I'm like, I feel the story a lot better, especially the first draft. And if I only have around 20 chapters, I can usually get that done in about a month. So the idea and the soft deadline for Mad World Book 1 is October 31st. My hard deadline, the deadline where like if we are not done this book by this point, we should just like quit, is November 30th. Like at that point, like I'll be ready for a new project. So we'll see. But like I would love ideally to be done by October 31st, Halloween. What that means is you guys would probably see it either in very, very late December or early January, because it still needs to go through edits. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on how that's going. All right, the next project I want to talk about is one that you guys haven't really heard about if you haven't been paying attention to my Twitter or you haven't been reading some of my update blogs, which is totally fine. Like, I actually understand if like a good way to stay completely in the loop is just to watch these videos if I make them every month, because I do a pretty good job of recapping it. In 2018, I was asked to write for Mystery Weekend at the Liaison Haven. I will link that in the description notes as well. And I wrote a 2-part murder mystery called Death Becomes Her, linked in below. And that was in, I believe I wrote that for September 2018. Yeah, that sounds right. And then in April of 2019, I wrote Death by Candlelight, which, you know, I'll link below. And that was an alternate universe. And it's both written in 2 parts, murder mysteries. And then, of course, we haven't written anything since. I don't think they've run the event, or I haven't been invited to write. No big deal. At the beginning of this year, they asked me to write. We're going to do holidays instead of monthly. And I was asked to write. I mean, I volunteered to write for New Year's. So when I was going through my anxiety-ridden mess of July and taking a month off, when I started thinking about writing again, I had a real lot of trouble trying to just like, where did I want to concentrate my energies? Because as much as I want to write the stuff that's on the drawing board and what I promised you, I'd like, you know, Fool Me Twice and all that stuff, I also just want to be able to write. I think you guys would be happy if I just gave you something. Like, and I would be happy because I miss writing. I missed it very much. So I was like going through some like other ideas, trying to figure out how I would make them work. And I have like pages and pages of notes. And then I remembered that I'm supposed to write for this. And so I started thinking about what I wanted to write. And I have, again, already done alternate universes for this. So like I've written 2, one is a historical romance and one is contemporary. For this one, I wanted to challenge myself by doing a murder mystery set within GH Times, but I wanted to make Carly the victim. And when's the best time to kill off Carly when a lot of people would have killed her? It would be 97. It'd be like December 1997, right after she has broken up with Tony. AJ has learned that he might be the father of the baby. She's gone to Jason. Bobby is, you know, so it's like all that drama that's going on right there. And Bobby still doesn't know who she is. And that's what I've decided to do. So I have worked out I'm really, really excited by it. I have it. I plotted it all out. I've been writing it. It's going to be in 3 parts, which I'm just not sure how the Haven's going to how they're going to handle that, because usually it's in 2. So it's 72 scenes. I have written, I think, 9 so far. I'm going to be working on that today. The scenes are relatively short. It's like short and punchy suspense where we just start building and building. And I'm about halfway through part 1, which I'm really excited by. So I'm really happy with that. And the way that you're going to get that release schedule for that is I hope to be done. I'm going to be done writing it by October 31st, because there are only 72 scenes. And when I do sit down and write them, they're pretty short. So I write 2 scenes a day. It's like really easy, and they barely ever take 25 minutes. So that's actually working out great. And then I'll edit it in November, and then it'll be ready to go in December. So I'll keep you in the loop on how that's going. I'm really excited by it. The other project I want to go into the details a little bit is Fool Me Twice. If you are new to the channel and you're new to the site and you haven't yet read Fool Me Twice book 1, because maybe you don't like the timeline it set in. I know I had a lot of readers who were like, you know what, I just can't read Jason past this point. I'm like, I get you. It was definitely a challenge for me as a writer, and I think I don't know if I get really into, I kind of talk about that a little bit. I did a vlog series when I started planning Fool Me Twice, and I was going through the editing. So if you're interested, it's on the channel, and I will link it. Like I know I had a ton of readers who just tapped out because they just don't want to read 2017. I actually think it turned out really well. I think Jason and Elizabeth I think it was really fun playing with the characters. I had a lot more fun writing characters in that time period than I thought it would. So like, that's been really great. I've actually been able to write current, like the most recent stuff I've written is August 2020. So like I have written, you know, present day GH and been received pretty well. So if you have not yet given Fool Me Twice a chance because of that timeline, you know, let me see. So if you haven't read it at all, for whatever reason, it is a trilogy of which book 1 is completely done. It rewrites the Jason return and makes, you know, it makes that story about Jason and Drew instead of, you know, Peter, who, by the way, does not exist. And unlike, you know, other characters where I bring them on later, I have no intention of ever making Peter August exist. I just have no intention. Peter August does not need to exist ever. So I finished publishing that in June. That book, the process for writing that book was insane. And if you are interested in just like reliving that process with me, like I said, the vlog series is it kind of tracks it, because you can see you can see the dates. I started planning it in August, and you know, I mean, then again, it was a really long book, and I started planning it in August, and I got it out in a year. That's actually not that bad. Actually, you know, maybe being nice to myself. The plan was always to kind of get right back into it within a couple of months. Then, you know, anxiety Armageddon had hit. And so now I'm like 6 months behind where I really wanted to be. Fool Me Twice was actually supposed to be completely done out of my head by February, and it wasn't gone until June. So like I said, we're 6 months behind where I want it to be. And I'm going to say that while I know at least one of my people, Ange, I can hear you screaming at me already. It's like, you're 6 months behind what? Like, yes, I made the schedule, so like it's not a big deal. But you know, I did want another book out this year, and like I'm probably not going to have it out, and that kind of sucks for me. But you know, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that. Anyway, Fool Me Twice. I'd hope to have book 2 out by February. That's not gonna happen. I'm so sorry. I might have it out by March or April, but like we're gonna need a freaking miracle. Well, mostly because of the way I want to do books 2 and 3. What I'd like to do is I have started planning it. I'm sitting down with Plotter, which is a program I'm working on. If you're interested in knowing more about that, please let me know. I'd be happy to film a video going over it. I'm working on it, writing notes. I have like all of the ideas. Like I know what I want to happen, but in the sense of like, I know Sam needs to start here and needs to end here. I know Jason and Elizabeth need to start here and end here. Like I know all of that. Now I have to figure out like what's in the middle, and like it has to make sense. And you know, I need to know that. And I also want to do that for book 3 because books 2 and 3 are like really closely linked. I didn't do that when I wrote book 1 because I really wasn't sure how these characters were really going to interact. And I wanted to have at least one book where they just like, I put everybody on the screen, on the page, and I let them have conversations, and I kind of let them go where they need to go. And that worked out because even though it was really plotted out, Susan Moore came out of nowhere, and now I have to deal with that. And like I'm really excited because it gives Drew something else to do besides just be like, you know, worried. Like Jason has other things going on. I like that I've found a way to give Drew something going on, and he did it very organically. So like I said, if you're interested in more about that, I've got, like I said, I talked about this endlessly. But that's what I'm working on for this month, and for like, so that's September's plan, is to have everything plotted out, like basically discovery process. I'm going to be doing discovery. Like I said, I talk about that everywhere else. And then the hope is if Mad World is done by the end of October, I will be able to do Fool Me Twice book 2 for November NaNoWriMo. I want to write book 2 and 3 together. Like I'm plotting them together. I want to write the first drafts together. Each first draft should take about 2 months. So if I start writing in November, book 2 will be ready to go into edits by the beginning of January. It takes me about 6 weeks to edit if things go normal. So you might see this in February. More likely you're seeing this in March or April. So that's kind of like where, if barring any kind of craziness, like, I don't know, we could shut down again, and then my schedule is completely different when I'm at home. We could not shut down. We could go virtual where the kids are at home and I'm in school. Like, I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen this year. I've given up trying to predict the future. The last thing I want to talk about in depth is Flash Fiction, and mostly just to kind of talk about where it is and where it's going. Flash Fiction was a lot of anxiety for me last year, mostly because I let it be anxious for me. Last summer when I launched the new Flash Fiction, which by the way I do love, when I launched the new Flash Fiction, I made the decision very early on. When I was doing 20-minute segments, I was writing 4 different stories, I think, at that point, right? Like, I think, yeah. And like that actually works when you're writing in 20-minute segments. Like I can spend 20 minutes twice every single day writing for Flash Fiction, but I don't know that 20 minutes really worked with my process. Like I think as okay as those stories were that I wrote in 20 minutes, could have been better, you know? So when I came back and started writing in the 60-minute segments, I really should not have done more than 1 story. And I really shouldn't have done it more than like twice a week. Like I think I pretty much figured that out. Like I just don't think I need to update it more than twice a week. I can't do it during the week. Like even during like the summer, I just wasn't in the frame of mind this year. So I took a break from that, and then Signs of Life is back, and it's been back for about a month, I guess now. Yeah, about that. I think I posted like 3 parts, so it's been about 3 weeks. And that's been on Sundays, and that's gonna be Sundays in the mornings. Currently the website says 7 p.m. I will be editing that. I was hoping that an evening schedule would work, but I am like really tired by the end of the day. Scars was supposed to be back like twice already, but like the universe keeps conspiring against me. Things get scheduled. I keep getting like, it's just, and it's not a story that I just want to throw out there. That story is important to me, and I want to make sure I'm doing it right. So in theory, today is September 1st when you guys are seeing this. September 4th, yes, that's the calendar. September 4th, it will be back. Listen, I'm doing the best I can. The world is stupid right now. Outside of that, anything that I have on my drawing board will be after the alpha drafts of books 2 and 3 are done. Like I'm just not even thinking about anything else. It's very important for me to get that story and that book done. I want that trilogy done. Like Broken Girl, I feel like it's okay that we leave it a little bit longer because I left those characters in a really good space. I think for Fool Me Twice, the nature of that trilogy, I think it doesn't work if I take too much long off. So those books are coming out pretty quickly. Okay. So that is your Sight and Story status update for, September. I will see you guys in October and we will see how well it went. Cross your fingers that, the world doesn't fall apart. Although it's 2021, so let's just hope tomorrow happens. Bye.